Could social renting and private renting come together? Today, I'm joined by Ben Moser, who is a letting agent from South London. And he's come up with an initiative which has got the support of some big names in the whole of the UK, where he thinks both letting agents, landlords, and also social housing could come together to help out tenants. Ben, thanks for joining me today.
No problem. I'm delighted to be here. Thank you.
You've come up with this thing called the Petermans Housing Initiative. Try and describe it to me in one, possibly two sentences, exactly what it does for tenants and landlords.
So what we are doing is we are providing a secure opportunity for landlords and in the future, hopefully, larger scale developers to house social housing tenants via a secured rental opportunity and hopefully managing property for them so that any concerns they may have about the social housing sector are allayed as best we can.
Why are you doing this?
Because I think the private rented sector has a real opportunity to change the face of the housing crisis. We're all aware that it's a thing, and there are a number of landlords out there and a number of properties that can provide good solutions for these tenants.
So exactly what are the problems where your initiative will help?
So in one sense, it is the perception, as it were. A lot of our hashtagging around this is breaking the stigma. That's really where we come in as a managing agent. We've been doing it for 60 years. It's making sure that landlords can see that people who need secure homes, secure accommodation, are actually people who can be reliable, and backing that up with some fantastic partnerships we've fostered along the way to make that official.
You cannot you can't say no DSS or anything like that.
Right.
I always thought that, that tenants could just go to private. Well, where's the issues there? I mean, if they've got a guarantor, are you telling me they're not at the top of the queue, they're at the bottom?
Unfortunately, in a lot of cases, that is true. Whether it's old adages that people don't have the information about to make an informed decision on moving ahead with, or if the right pieces of the jigsaw aren't all together. I've been very fortunate to speak to some third sector groups about this. And
third sector, what does that mean?
Sorry, that sounds very... So that's what we are calling NGOs, housing charities, trust, people who will get tenancies from local authorities and will go through quite a stringent process to make them ready to be presented as applicants to estate agents or landlords.
Okay, so the two biggest issues which I hear about is one is finding the deposit, and then the second one is it is my understanding is that the default setting is the rent gets paid to the tenant, and then if the tenant doesn't pass it on to the agent, we have a problem.
Yes.
How does this initiative solve those two issues?
Well, we're very fortunate that we have gone into a partnership with two very trusted agency professionals in this. So the deposit side of things, there's a fantastic company called Reposit, whose sole existence really is to change the nature of deposits. A lot of the problem in this sector is that cash deposits really go against people's affordability. So their option in that is providing a slightly longer term deposit that's not all cash up front. So that makes those tenants safer. We then partnered with Rent Guarantor, who are huge in this field, and they provide a guarantee for the tenancies for the year duration of those tenancies.
Even though they might be on some form of social payments, they'll because I don't think I've come across that, a rent guarantee with a social tenant.
As long as they pass referencing, which we are partnered also, as many professionals are in the industry, with Good Lord. It's combining all three of those different parties to ensure that tenants are presented, even from a social setting, in the same way as a standard private AST.
This doesn't sound anything new. Have you just kind of put all the actors together in a one-stop shop?
Yes, let's say so.
Is that kind of...
Essentially, what we do that's different is we then are providing the oversight of the whole onboarding experience and managing the properties that take on, so that on top of all of that security, you then have a very seasoned and experienced agency managing that process. But there's no reason to suggest that moving forward, this could be taken further.
What's in it for the landlord that they're not getting at the moment?
A longer term secure tenancy. So we've had quite a few economic issues, and the market has been tumultuous at times. The cost of living has been where it's been. In this sector now, we're now seeing that there's an opportunity for a longer term, more secure tenancy opportunity with more securities in place than you would sometimes see in a private.
Okay, so what extra securities as a landlord am I getting with this initiative?
Well, you're getting a longer deposit, because as a standard AST, you can't have a longer than 5 weeks deposit. It's not all cash up front, so the affordability criteria and...
So you can have a bigger deposit. Well, how do you get past the tenant fee bet on that one? Although it's not the tenant, it's the firm that are doing it.
Yeah.
So number one, a bigger deposit.
Well, and it's then the way with which that's covered by the tenant is a much more tenant friendly and economically viable option, so that they're not having to front up money that they can't afford and it then affect them, and then potentially go into arrears, potentially be affected further down the line.
But let's just say the tenant doesn't pay up. Does the landlord still have recourse for the rent guarantee, the deposit guarantee?
Yes.
So it's deposit guarantee,
Yep.
rent guarantee,
Yep.
longer tenancy.
Yep.
Anything else I'm missing?
Not really. If you're going through a route that involves people in employment, then no. If you're going straight from a local authority, then the LHA, the local housing allowance cap, will come into play. But that's a different conversation.
But then you'd have that with the private rental normal anyway, wouldn't you?
Of course.
Do you think this is for landlords who want to do their social bit, if you know what I mean, within a framework which is safer for them? If I had to distill this down into one sentence.
Yes, it is. I think it's also there for the wider populace of landlords, if you will. I don't think you don't have to want to do your bit. I think it's fantastic to want to do your bit, and that is part of what we're doing. But it's really starting to show that there's an entire subsection of potential tenancies that are there. Okay,
but it's not as if there's a lack of tenancies, lack of tenants out there.
No, okay. But if you are a landlord that doesn't necessarily like getting involved in the management, your day-to-day management of your property.
That's what you have a letting agent for.
But they don't all use them. And some people that want to use them may then see they've got a safer, longer-term investment opportunity. And suddenly you think, well, for 3 years, I don't have to worry about it. And it's the same people over and over.
Because the type of tenant that's going to be moving in is by nature going to be a longer tenant.
They all want somewhere to live. At our core, we all want somewhere safe to live. We all want secure living. So in this scenario, with a double guarantee, if you will, someone's going to be working even harder to just live somewhere safely.
And you believe this initiative, the Petermans Housing Initiative, completes all that?
Absolutely. I believe it as much as I've believed anything in my entire career.
How do people find out information on that?
We have a website, we have LinkedIn, the social medias. We're very active on it with lots of information. They can email in. I'm very happy to have conversations about it.
Who are you looking to have conversations with? Landlords or letting agents or other people?
Or everyone. I'm very happy to have conversations with letting agents who want to discuss the model, with landlords who want to give properties or to discuss what the options are, to any developers who have sites and they think there's a chance to get involved.
I mean, what's in it for the developers?
What's in it for developers?
What's in it for the developers?
Well, again, the same as you would for a landlord. You can even keep your build costs down. If you're costing too, and you can get people in on longer term, your ongoing maintenance, as long as you're checking it regularly.
Thank you for your time today, Ben.
Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.